Good evening. My name is Ashley Vandenmyracker. I'm a specialist with Duval Schools' Family Engagement Department. And thank you so much for joining us for navigating your linked parent account. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, this is navigating your linked parent account. So hopefully you've already created your linked account. And tonight I'm just going to show you some of the things and some of the tools and resources that you have available through this account. Let's see, there we go. So with your linked parent account, you can access your students' attendance, assignments that have been posted by the teacher, grades that have been posted, assessment data. You can communicate with your teachers or your child's teachers. You can update your emergency contact form. You can see student schedules, the class announcements, school announcements, district announcements, different forms that are available throughout the school year. So right now, a big one is bus registration. That form is available in your linked parent account, school choice application, and then other forms that the district utilizes throughout the school year are all available in your linked parent account. Your linked parent account, you may have heard of it referred to as a focus account, a parent portal, or a OneView. Those are all the same account, and they all fall under the same umbrella of it's really like it's just a big website. Hang on one second, gotta let them in. There we go. So all of those are your linked parent account together. So we're going to take a look at that. There are a couple different ways that you can access your linked parent account. The first is on the Duval Schools website, which is duvalschools.org. And then the second is actually through the very brand new all-in-one Duval Schools app. So it is brand new. If you had the Duval Schools app last year, you will want to delete that one and then download the new one. And you can find that at duvalschools.org/app. And I'll put the website in the chat at the end of the presentation. But that's the second way that you can access it. If you use the app, you'll log in. You'll open it up, and on the bottom left corner, you've got the menu option. You'll click that, and then you'll want to click Parent Portal, and it will load a screen that looks like this. Now, this is the same screen that you'll see if you log in from the website, which the OneView/Parent Portal is down here. It's always just under the main banner on the website. So you'll click that, and it will take you to, excuse me, this page. So as a parent, you will want to log in using the Parent, Guardian, and Partner app. I'm going to log in. We have a training account, so I'm going to log into that one, and I'm going to take you through a little live walkthrough or a tour of your linked parent account. And then there are some things that I can't really show you in great detail with the training account. So once we're done with the live walkthrough, I'm going to show you some screenshots of my parent account so you can see exactly why this is such a benefit for you to use. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. All right, so when you log in, this is what you see. You'll first see the district news. This is where any news articles that have been published by the district appear, and they're in chronological order. So if you remember seeing something, you can scroll back down and find it again if you need to. Blended learning, that is really not for you as a parent. You cannot access anything in there. Mine as a training account is blank, so it isn't really helpful at all. But as a parent last year, I could see the apps that my students could use. I could see their different blended learning programs, but they can't even log into their blended learning through me being logged in as a parent because it's single sign-on, and so it wouldn't do them any good. My links is really where if you log in this way, you'll go to OneView. And OneView is that umbrella that I was mentioning for your linked parent account. My links is primarily where you will go and then spend the majority of your time while you're there, while you're using your parent account. So very important, this very first one is my profile. This is where you can update your contact information. This is the contact information that the district will use for the automatic call outs, emails, text messages that come through. This is the information where if there was an emergency and the school or the district needed to get a hold of you, they will pull from this information. So I think it's important that at the beginning of every school year, you just come in and check it, make sure that your phone number is up to date. If it's a mobile phone, definitely check that box. That way you can enable the district to send you those text message notifications. If you want to add a secondary email, you can do that here as well. Now, the secondary email does not give that email address access to your linked parent account. However, it does ensure that that email address receives whatever email notification is coming from the district, the school, or the class, so the teachers. So anytime on mine as an individual, for example, as a parent version of myself, I have my husband's email as a secondary. And so then that way, if the teacher sends a progress report through Focus, then we both get that email. So that is a handy feature, but it does not give them access to log in themselves as a parent. So if you have someone that needs their own login, they would need to create their own linked account. You can add a student to your profile. Bus registration, I'm actually not going to click on that one right now because it does not take you directly to bus registration. It takes you to the bus transportation website, which has tons of helpful information. If you're not sure how to register your student for transportation, there's how-to videos that are on there. Um, but the title of that tab is a little confusing. So I don't want to click on it and then you think that you've registered. You have not. You've got a computer sale. So the district is a 1-to-1 laptop ratio in middle and high school. As those laptops are turned back in and the district determines that they really can't be used for student service anymore, they send them to a company called Urban Mining. It's a local company here in Jacksonville, and they refurbish those laptops completely. So um, you could get essentially a used but fairly brand newish laptop at a fraction of the cost. I've seen them for $30, I've seen them for $50. It just depends on the laptop and the features that are available on that particular laptop. The DCPS district calendar, this is where you can go and always find the most up-to-date calendar. So if we have a weather day, this calendar here will be updated before any of the other calendars. The Emergency Connectivity Fund survey, this is a big one. If you have a student and they're having to do a lot of online work at home, or maybe you just don't have a laptop at home, you can actually click this and you can apply for a brand new out of the box laptop completely free of charge. So all you have to do is you would click that. Select your student. If you have more than one, there's a drop down. You would select your student from the list and you can apply for all of your students. So it's not just one per household, it's one laptop per student. So you can see here, it'll show you exactly which student you've selected it for. And then it says it's just 2 questions. You have to, one of the qualifications is you have to be enrolled in a traditional public school, so not a charter school, because they receive separate funding for their own grant for this. So for this opportunity, you have to be in a traditional public school. So a neighborhood school, a magnet school, you would still qualify. So you would click yes. And then does your student have access to a laptop or desktop that's sufficient to participate in remote learning? Click no. If you click yes, your application will not be approved. If you click no, your application will be approved. You will get an email confirming that you have been approved, and typically the laptops are shipped directly to your student's school and you could pick it up from there. You do have to check each of the acknowledgement boxes. So if you need a laptop for one or all of your students, that is a fabulous opportunity. We have that grant, I believe, for the rest of this year and part of next year. They're working to renew it, but there's no guarantee that we'll get the grant again. So if it's something you think you might need now or even next year, I would go ahead and apply for it this year and get that laptop. The laptop you are allowed to keep for as long as your student is enrolled in Duval schools. So if they're in kindergarten, they can keep it all the way through high school graduation, and then they would just turn it in to the district at the end. Focus, that's going to take you to the grade portal, and I'll click on that in just a second. The lunch menu will give you access to the menu for K through 12, breakfast, and lunch. Breakfast and lunch are free for all students at every single Duval County Public School. That does not include charter, but all of our traditional and magnet schools are free lunch and breakfast for every single student. Rooms is here. Rooms, you might have heard of that already. That's going to be the two-way communication tool that schools and classes use to, or teachers use to communicate with parents. Um, because this is a training account that I'm looking at right now, I can't click on it. But in your own parent account, in your own linked parent account, you can click on that and it will take you to the website version of Rooms. I do think it's a little bit easier to use on your mobile app and the DCPS app. And if you click on that and it takes you to a login, and I can, let's see, it might take me here. If you do not have the Microsoft, or sorry, if you don't have the Duval Schools Bridge logo, then you will not have access to it on the desktop just yet. The reason is just it hasn't finished the data pool from the beginning of the year as we get students coming in or transferring out. So once we finish the first 2 weeks or so, they'll do another pullover, and then you should see your Duval Schools Bridge logo. You would click that and sign in with it. I do truly think that the app is easier to navigate on though. And then student profile, if for some reason you needed to know your student's student ID number, you can find that here. You just click on the student that you're looking for. It's got their student ID number, it shows their grade, and then their date of birth. Typically, you don't really do a whole lot with that one. Focus is the big one. Again, my profile, I encourage you to check it at the beginning of every year. So I'm going to click on Focus, and I'll show you some of the things that are available with your account. And then we'll go back to the presentation and I'll show you some of the screenshots because this is a training account, so it's not all here. So this is what it will look like when you log in. Any alerts from the district will show up here. Full service schools, this is just an announcement that full service school referrals are available. And I will show you that when we get to forms in just a second. Weather day alerts will show up here telling you if school is closed, what days it's closed, when it resumes. Typically, if you have a middle or high school student, you will also see an alert telling you if it's an A day or a B day when they return from the weather day. My profile is essentially going to be the same as what we saw on the other screen. I have not used this option at all. Communication, I personally don't like communication through Focus. I enjoy just going to my email because sometimes there is a breakdown in the Focus system where I ask it to copy me, send me, an original of the email. I don't always get it. And then there have been reports where teachers don't always get the email. So I don't like to use that one. I just like to use my email that I know is tried and true and it will work. Preferences, however, I do really love this option as a parent, not necessarily for the display options, but for the notifications. This is a big one. You can actually come in and set it up so you can get alerts daily, weekly, or custom. Again, personally, I prefer the custom option because for each of these items, grades, absences, or discipline, you can set up how you want to get that alert. What is the trigger that you want in order for you to get an email notification. So it can be that the course average drops below a certain number. It can be that the course grade drops below a certain grade. So if you want to know, okay, if this grade drops below a C and now we're in the D and F range and you want to get that alert, you can set it up there. You can also set it up for individual assignments. If you have a score on an assignment that's below a certain percentage, you'll get an email letting you know. Absences, this is really great if you have um, a middle or high school student where they have multiple periods and each period counts for attendance. So you could do days absent or like days absent in a day period. And each period in the day will actually count toward that. So if they miss second period one day, and then fifth period another, and then third period, once they get to that full day, it will let you know that they've missed an entire day's worth of school. And then if they receive a referral for whatever reason, you would also get an email alert if that's put into focus. Now, if for some reason your student got a referral, the school would actually contact you first before it went into focus. So I do really like the preferences options for the notifications, primarily for the grades. I want to know if their grade drops below, a C, because then I know if I need to reach out to the teacher, maybe we're in trouble, we're getting a little risky. Forms is a big one. These are all the forms currently available for this school year so far. It's a lot. Now, some of them you may never use, some of them you might use every year. They do update every year. They will update throughout the year. This mental health counseling one, that's where you can actually request for your child to be evaluated to receive mental health services through the school. Um, you don't have to do that if you feel like your child might need some assistance or some mental health counseling. Every student has access to free mental health counseling through full service schools, but also through our partner, Hazel Health. And with Hazel Health, that um, the mental health counseling is actually teletherapy, so it's over the computer or over the phone. They can do it at home, they can do it during the school day. And so that is another great resource. If you go the Hazel Health route, you do not need to fill out the mental health counseling request. That is one you only need to fill out if you want to go through the full service schools through the district. Health services, opt-out form, health screenings. This is the big one right now. This is the transportation form for this year. So if your student needs to ride the bus, you definitely want to fill this out. It is the only way your student will be assigned a bus route. Okay. Um, you will need to fill it out for every child. And so it's got the drop down up at the top. You would select your student. And then you would come down here. My student would be a bus rider. Yes. And then you would hit submit request. And then you can go back up to the top and do the same thing for each of your students that might need bus transportation. Bus transportation eligibility requirements did change this year. And so if you are a middle or high school student, you need to live more than 2 miles from the school, from your neighborhood school, not from the school that you attend. So if you go to a magnet school, you still need to live more than 2 miles from your neighborhood school. If you're an elementary student, you need to live more than 1.5 miles from that school. Some of the other forms that are available right now are the media release form and then preferred name form. If you have a student who goes by a name other than their legal first name, so if they go by a nickname or if they go by their middle name, this is a form that you'll want to fill out so that their teachers and school staff are then legally allowed to call them by that name. When the school choice window opens, you will see the new school choice application will appear here as well. It will say 2025, 2026 because it is for next school year. So that will appear here. The school choice window in the past has typically been January 1st through the last day of February. That is changing this year. And so if you are someone who takes advantage of the school choice opportunities, you will want to note that the window opens December 1st and it closes January 31st at 11:59 p.m. So that is different this year. So these are just some of the things I wanted to show you in focus. And then I'm actually going to go back over to the presentation because some of the things, if you notice, the students didn't have a schedule assigned to them. So I do want you to see what that looks like. Um, this is what it looks like. This is for a middle school student. So they've got 7 periods. Now it will say 8 periods and it will have a rotation and it will tell you if it's an A-day class or a B-day class. Periods 1 through 4 are A-day, periods 5 through 8 are B-day. You've got the planner tab. I love this tab. It's huge. We use it all the time. Um, you can click on it and it opens this up. So it shows you by date any assignment that the teacher has already input into Focus. So the writing diagnostic planning sheet was due August 19th. That allows me as a parent, then I can come back and check up with my student. Did you actually get that done? Are you still working on it? What does it look like? That type of thing. I love this. Some of the assignments that are uploaded will actually have things attached to them. So if you were to click on one and you'll see details, it'll show you when it was assigned, when it is due, when the teacher actually published it or put it in the grade book. A lot of times they just uploaded it sometime on August 12th, not necessarily at midnight, probably not at midnight, but Focus will typically just default to a midnight if they put it in on that day. And then what quarter it's for. The big thing is going to be if you see resources. So if you click on an assignment and the word resources is there, you'll want to click on that because it means the teacher has uploaded resources for you and your student to see. So you've got the syllabus. This one was actually a quiz link. They just had to go in and answer questions about the syllabus. But if you were to click on the syllabus, it would actually download the teacher's syllabus. So if your child loses the paper copy, or if you have a question later on in the year because you forgot what the makeup work policy was, you could just go in and download it and it would be there for you to keep. So I do really like that option. I encourage you to click on each assignment and see if it has resources. If the teacher has not uploaded anything, then resources will not be there. You would only see details. The other thing with Focus, if you do want to communicate with your teachers through Focus, you can actually just click on their name. It'll pull up an email. You have the option of sending it to one teacher or all the teachers. You also have the grade. You can click on the percentage of the grade and it will pull up the grade book. So you can see each assignment, again, when it was assigned, when it was due, when it was modified. This is typically, it's going to be one of two things. It's either going to be the last time that your student uploaded a document for that assignment, or it is going to be when the teacher updated the grade. So you can see some of these have actual assignments uploaded to them. This one says no assignment uploading. That means the teacher set that one up so that the student could not upload anything to Focus. And this is common, it's more common in middle and high school where teachers will ask students to upload things to Focus, whether it's a Word doc or a PDF. Sometimes it's a picture. So if you have a student and that is something that they are asked to do, they would click where the empty file is. They would just click no file. They can drag and drop it. They can click to choose and then they can search through the computer or they can take a picture of the assignment that way. Also in Focus, you will see above the grades, news planner, all of that. Each of your students will have this little logo, the Florida Statewide Assessments logo. That is where you can go in and see their end of year assignments, or sorry, end of year assessments. But throughout the year, if you click on that after a progress monitoring, so progress monitoring 1 will happen, I want to say around October, I believe. You could come in and click on that and it will open up the Florida Department of Education assessment family portal. So this is obviously an old screenshot, but it will show you the newest scores. Typically, the scores are available for you to view by the end of the day after your student hits submit on their test. So it's pretty quick. I've seen it as quick as within an hour after my students finished. Um, the longest I've ever seen it take was the next day. But this will update with every progress monitoring that your student takes. So it will be reading, math, writing, fifth grade science would show up there. Any end of course exam, you'll also be able to see the score report here as well. So all of that will update there. And that really is almost everything that we can think of that you might need as a parent in your linked parent account, what you might use. If for some reason you are having a hard time with your linked parent account, or you forget your password or need help resetting it, or you just have a question because you don't see something that is supposed to be there, this is a helpline, 904 348 7628. They are available 7 days a week. So Monday through Friday, you can call between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then on the weekends, you can call 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. This is staffed by district employees. They have access to look up your student information. So if something was going wrong, they would be able to help you navigate through how to solve the problem. If you think it's just easier to email, or if you want to take a screenshot and send it to them, then you can email it to this address, pga_support@duvalschools.org. And again, that's going to be staffed by district personnel who are trained in how to help you. I really appreciate y'all being here. I know evenings are not easy, so thank you. And I hope to see you all at another course soon.